you can definitely convey emotion, a very complex story through sound, through music, in ways that you can't do with words.
Like I'm driving along in a convertible or a T-top or a window down, some kind of nice sports car or something, and there's like a sunrise.
Music is sort of a like condensation or translation of your brain waves that you broadcast to other people, and they interpret and feel what you feel.
No, right. Oh, that's some method speaking.
Welcome to yet another kitchen sink microscopy. I'm Eric Rosenblatt, and we would totally love it if you would like and share this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That's what awesome musically inclined people are wont to do. Yeah.
And I'm Casey Rochford, and I'm slightly pished. And, into some homemade metheglin right now. And
that sounds like an illicit substance.
So anyway, I can't feel my feet, but don't let that stop you from checking out the music at the end of the show and getting it at patreon.com/KSMVidcast or Spotify or iTunes or Google or Amazon, anything. Yeah, we got music there. So, what should we talk about today?
Well, interesting you should mention music, because I think we should talk about a subject that's something I've thought about for decades, actually. And you and I both being musicians, or at least songwriters, shall we say. I mean, we've written, I don't know how many songs you have, but I've got like 2,000 plus under my belt. So
I had a list somewhere. It was up in several hundreds.
Yeah, so between us, we've written a lot of songs, and I've always been of the mind that the reason music grips you so hard, emotional or pump up music or things like that, just a sequence of tones can somehow make somebody feel a thing. I honestly believe that music is a language. What do you think about that?
I completely agree, because it's something that not everybody knows intuitively, but some do. And
as far as like creating music, I suppose, right?
Yeah, being able to speak it, let's say.
Yeah.
And, thinking of it as a language, there's just like any other language, like I don't really know Spanish, so I can't say that I speak Spanish, but I can speak music,
Yeah, and myself, like I've written a lot of songs that kind of tell a story, and they don't do it with any words whatsoever. It's all just notes and sounds, and yet it still tells that story. I think there's a movie about Mozart called Immortal Beloved, where he's telling a story about a particular song that he wrote, and saying like how it's essentially telling a tale of him trying to get to a lover, or somebody trying to get to a lover, and they're wagon is stuck in the mud and all this stuff and the struggle and all that. And yeah, you can hear that in the music. In fact, I think you can almost, my personal, because, well, there's like so many angles going on here now. I feel like a spider in a spider web. But it's like there are things you can say with words, right? Like words convey meaning. But, you know, they're not necessarily perfect. They're not infallible. They can be confused or have different meanings to different people. The way you say things, like there are so many songs I don't even know the lyrics to because it's so like hard to understand, but you can hear the music and still capture what that particular person was trying to say.
Well, yeah, that what you're talking about, that feeling that's elicited by the music is almost like accent or something.
Yeah.
You know, like a different dialogue, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I also think that even structurally speaking, you know, like how many hertz a particular sound is coming through on, we tend to define those as like, I don't know, like certain phrases or words or something, you know, like it's basically hearing one thing and being able to translate it into something that you already know. That kind of lends it that structural basis for being a language.
Yeah, I think music is pretty much a universal language, at least on Earth. I would expect, and this is where the close encounters thing comes in. You know, if we ever met a species from another world, right? Like we wouldn't communicate with our vocalizations and things like that because it wouldn't make any sense. But we could communicate through sound.
Okay,
And
this is this is an interesting angle. I think I can make the argument that music would definitely exist in another world, right? Because here's the thing, it's sound. It's I mean, like, barring the mutation that this particular alien species might have evolved entirely deaf or whatever, you know, that's like an exceedingly small what if, right?
yeah,
If there was life out there, let's assume that they're going to be able to hear things, and all you need is like an atmosphere, and you know, sound will produce from.
well, yeah, like whales. Even you could be underwater. Anything that could like push that auditory pressure somewhere and vibrate and things like that.
Yeah. And where there's sound, I feel like there will always evolve some kind of sound language or sound dialect or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know? And
Well,
it almost has evolution, you know, like selection
sure.
for certain characteristics and stuff like that. Yeah, it's
Yeah, and
really,
I wonder, like, because on Earth, as humans communicating, well, I mean, you could probably even say some animals probably possess the same kind of thing. I mean, if you listen to whale songs and things like that, you can definitely hear a little bit of music going on there, and maybe there's some kind of dialogue being conveyed, or I guess it would be a monologue. But yeah, like so what kind of like got me into thinking about all this stuff is you know, I've written all kinds of music and stuff, and a friend of mine, he and I were sitting when we went to Pierce College. We were just sitting outside, like hanging out, talking about stuff and talking about music and everything. And we kind of came to the conclusion that music is almost like, I guess, a condensed or I guess simplified form of brainwaves. in a sense. The fact that, like, regardless of what language you speak, regardless of your life experiences and perception of the world and things, certain songs will always affect people a certain way.
Oh yeah.
And so my thought was, hey, maybe music is sort of like some kind of subconscious witchery going on, where you take your brain waves and you turn it into something that is more or less universally translatable, and then the other person takes those sounds and it strokes the neurons in your brain in just the right way, and takes that same feeling that you had and transfers it to that other person. Hence
Yeah.
why, like, sad songs or happy songs or whatever, like, to everybody, they always kind of hit you the same way, which is really kind of remarkable. And that kind of makes me think, like, it's got to be something like that has to be going on.
I mean, harmonics do have a physiological effect.
Well, it's more than harmonics, though. It's like even just a sequence of notes,
Yeah.
which, or the timing and things like that. Just even, yeah.
Well, here's a philosophical question for you. Like, can we maybe point to birds and say, because they certainly do have a language,
Yeah.
a pretty complex one actually. Can you say that already is music as a language? You know, like their songs.
Oh yeah. And there's even like small subtleties
Mhm.
within bird songs where just a slight, like, bend up in the pitch, or repetition or something like that, all these things translate into a conveyance of some kind of narrative, I guess, right? Like, whatever it might
Yeah.
be, danger, right? That kind of thing.
If,
And it's interesting, like, that is probably some kind of evolutionary thing,
oh yeah.
but it's interesting that it's so complex. And I mean, we recently talked about Yanni, and there's a particular song by Yanni that, like, hits me in the feels every single time. Like, I cannot listen to it without getting all emotional and stuff. And it's like, it's just a dude playing a piano at
Huh.
the Acropolis. Like, I don't know what it is. And here's another thing. Um, I can't remember so many things. There's things in the past that I totally cannot remember. However, I go back and I either listen to songs that other people have written or songs I've written, in particular ones I've written, because it's like I'm trying to tell a story about something through song. And I remember there's just a flood of details that come out just listening to this song that I wrote in, like, the summer of '93 or something, right? And there's no lyrics, there's nothing saying anything, but simply hearing the timbre of the sounds, the beat, the rhythm, various chords and notes and things, all of a sudden it's like clear as day, which is really interesting.
You know, songs are basically like the diary of their author,
Hmm.
and everyone's just left free to read that diary and feel what they were feeling.
Yeah. Oh man, that is.
That's some Method speaking.
Well, I've only got space dust, but I might have a few behind me, so we'll see.
Oh, I wanted to say though, if our viewership is interested in bird language, former guest and friend of the show, uh, Dr. Douglas Wacker does a whole lot of research with birds. That's kind of why I knew a little bit about their language, and it started making me think like, oh, that is basically music, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
notes and stuff, and that is definitely a language, like demonstrably.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, maybe he can help me figure out this, like, mystery bird that I've never seen but always heard. And I have literally scoured the internet listening to every single bird call that I can find, and I've never found this particular bird. And I have a recording of it, so there's that.
There's the government drones masked like to look like birds.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, yeah. I mean, oh man, there's like a lot. There's a lot to discuss here, actually. Like, I mean, I think it's a really interesting topic. Like, I definitely think that you can definitely convey emotion, a very complex story through sound, through music, in ways that you can't do with words.
Hey, you know what would be really cool? It just popped into my head. Like you and I have written songs together, but we also write independently. And
yeah.
So there's a whole host of songs that we could do this with. But I want to ask, or I want to tell you what I feel when I listen to a song that you wrote, and see if there's any like link to what actually inspired that song.
Oh, yeah.
So
That would actually be like a really interesting kind of a video that we could probably turn into an episode or something where we pick a
yeah,
few songs and play them, maybe ones the other person hasn't heard before, that don't have
yeah,
lyrics or anything, and try to kind of interpret what the other person was saying. That would be a scientific test, honestly.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I wanted to try that real quick because this one of your songs popped into my head, "New Love." Like
oh,
that one, like always makes me feel like like I'm driving along in a convertible or a T-top or window down, some kind of nice sports car or something, and there's like a sunrise. Like I feel like there's some kind of or a sunset, some kind of epic skyline, right? Like that's what that song like elicits a feeling of in me, like that kind of
I,
open road freedom.
yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I wrote that when I started dating this new girlfriend, and it was that feeling of elation and stuff. And I think I was like coming home from working at the mall, so it was probably like a sunset. Um, and I came home, sat down, just like started like banging on the keys, and that song came out.
Huh.
Yeah, that you're kind of close to that, actually. That's interesting. Hmm.
Huh.
Wow.
That is pretty cool. Like I couldn't even remember exactly when you wrote that song. I know it's an older one, but
2005.
I
I think it was probably September or maybe October of 2005, I think. Yeah.
huh.
Yeah, that's a good song. Man, I wish we've already used that song, I think, so we can't use it at the end. And the song that's actually totally relevant to what we're talking about now, Brainwaves, um, I think we've used that too. So uh, we've used up all the good stuff. But yeah, I did actually write a song specifically about this very topic. The idea that music is sort of a like condensation or translation of your brain waves that you broadcast to other people, and they interpret and feel what you feel. Wasn't there a Spock quote where he said that? Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, that it's immaterial. Um, so,
No, go ahead.
oh,
I had a thought, but it melted into this metheglin.
um, so speaking of like your mind and sound and things like that, there's something that I've experimented with quite a bit. Um, have you heard of binaural beats?
Yeah, I don't think I had heard of it really before. Uh, this one time we were at your place and you played me some stuff that you wrote with, like you even built a synthesizer to like produce that frequency, right?
I totally did. Yeah, yeah. It's a completely custom synth. Yeah.
Yeah, like how cool is that? But yeah,
Yeah.
why don't you explain exactly what it is?
Well, so okay, for those that don't know, binaural beats are a way of hearing frequencies that you can't hear. The idea being that okay, so you've got your left, my my left, your right, I guess, and you got the left and the right ear, and so you hear in stereo. Um, but if you put on headphones and produce frequencies that are ever so slightly different, the difference will translate into like a center pulse, I guess. And it, I mean, you could go, well, you could actually go onto YouTube and look up binaural beats and stuff like that. But the idea is that the brain is a sympathetic organ, so it's going to kind of tune itself to stuff, stimuli, I guess. Um, and the theory behind binaural beats is, well, first off, that you can hear frequencies you can't hear, because the difference between them, even if it's like sub-audible frequencies, 20 hertz, like 8 hertz, or even lower than that, that those will translate into an internal pulse that affects your brain operation. Like you can make yourself tired or energized or whatever. There's all kinds of things, and I've actually used it multiple times to kind of deal with migraines, um, kind of
Oh,
like bring yourself out of it and reset your brain and stuff like that. And I mean, in my experience, it works. I don't know if it's some kind of like just I'm just hopeful that it'll work, so I think it does, but it it,
huh.
it really I think it actually does.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember. So it could be definitely like that kind of back of the brain thing going on when you get this sensory input that you're not used to, right?
Yeah.
So like imagine all of a sudden you could see ultraviolet. How tripped out would you be? You'd be just like an overload, like nothing looks the same. What is going on? This is weird. I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
Could be the same way with that sound. Maybe that's what's going on with the binaural thing is just throwing your system into kind of a chaos. And
Well, here's the thing that's interesting about it, though, is the the frequency ranges so the frequencies achieved by the difference between the frequencies between the ears, that
what?
if that makes any sense, um, they do actually kind of translate into kind of like a varying sensory feeling. The high frequency ones tend to be very irritating. The low frequency ones tend to be very relaxing. Um, and I mean, I actually like built that synth as an experiment, because I saw all these videos and stuff, and they're like, oh well, this is like 60 hertz, or this is like 23 hertz, or whatever. I don't remember the exact numbers. I mean, I think that's kind of sketchy as far as people's claims of what frequency results in what effect. But I wanted to know. So I was like, okay, well, I can go onto YouTube and watch these videos with a bunch of music, or I could just build my own synth where I could just grab a slider, move it up, move it down. Like, oh, you want to change the variation between the frequencies? You just move a slider. And I will say, I wrote like a go to sleep song for a friend of mine, and I selected frequency differentials that were kind of like within that zone, and I like almost fell asleep writing the song. So I don't know.
This app is now for sale at ksmvidcast.com.
Oh yeah, it was like binaural synth like 1.0, I think. It's a VST plugin actually. So I don't know. Maybe we could put it up on the website. I don't. I'm an open source kind of guy. Like, right? If you have a good idea, just throw it out there and let people experiment with it. I did my work. Now do yours, I guess.
Charitable contributions.
Yeah. Well, totally. Yeah. Exactly. If it means something, it'd be nice to kick a few. Well, some kind of crypto would be nice. But I mean, if you have to have FedCoin, that works too.
Also take ruples.
Sure, why not? Anything, whatever you got. Silver. Send us some silver. That'd be good, or gold. Like,
No bloody witch marks.
yeah. Oh man.
No frankenfrancs.
It's an interesting idea, and I mean it does kind of make sense because the question would have to be asked: why does a song, just a tune, right? No lyrics. Why does a tune make you feel a certain thing? And it can be very complex. Like there are songs that make me feel nostalgia. There are songs that make me feel sad, that make me feel happy, that trigger memories and things like that. And there's nothing saying anything. There's no verbal tale being told. It's all through a sequence of notes. And I think that's actually worth studying.
Yeah. Plus, there's the energy level that's almost like you can measure it, like by it, trying to lay down and sleep to Slayer, or versus
Yeah.
Beethoven, like there's certain sound waves that take you to a sleepier place, and there's certain ones that agitate you and get you ready for the day and energized and pumped, like.
Well, and it's more like it could be argued that maybe it's tempo, but I would say not. And
No.
it's not timbre. It's not like, oh, the fact that there's a bunch of distortion and stuff like that, that makes it, all you have to do is listen to some, oh my God, more beer. Joe Satriani,
Oh,
right? Like Flying in a Blue Dream. That is one of my favorite freaking songs. That song, I wish YouTube wasn't such a dick, because I would throw that in there right now.
if Joe Satriani would like to come on the show,
Yeah.
we would welcome you. Let's do a hashtag SatchKSM.
Oh man, I'd just be like, we're not worthy. Oh man.
Can you fix my harmony of guitar theory?
Oh shit! Imagine that. Giving him that task, like, whoa.
Oh, jeez.
That'd be amazing. I'm gonna have to listen to some Flying in a Blue Dream after this, actually. Yeah. Oh. To me, it's like it's a really interesting idea, and I think it's something that should be considered, especially considering there's probably actually aliens out there. Like, they probably do exist, and I think there was a new update to the algorithm. What's the one for predicting how many civilizations exist out there in a galaxy. I can't remember, but
They
so it's
forgot
probably
to carry
like
the two.
get huh.
They forgot to carry the two.
Mhm. Well, no, it was based on the fact that there was no planets discovered, and now there's like basically every star has planets, and I think, and so in reevaluating it, there's at least close to 40 civilizations, alien civilizations in our galaxy, probably based on that. So, if we were to ever encounter them, how do we actually communicate? How do we tell them that, we're intelligent, and how do we convey ideas and stuff like that? You can't do it through words. Maybe they don't even have mouths. Maybe they don't have ears, maybe they just feel vibrations or something. Who knows how they communicate? Um, and I think music is kind of the way to do it. That's why I was talking about the uh, Close Encounters of the Third kind of thing. Like, I thought that was a brilliant way to illustrate how two worlds would interact for the first time. And again, that would be another clip that I could throw in if we didn't have some kind of YouTube shenanigans for doing it, because it's so awesome. But anyway, look up that thing with the, like the whatever. Yeah.
Huh. And I was also kind of thinking that trends in music could be somewhat like the evolution of a dialect,
Hmm.
like medieval English to Old English or whatever, and to modern, whatever they call it now. I don't know. Like those could all be kind of just like evolutionary tick marks or something.
Yeah, and might
I
even.
think it's something that people are carrying and evolving just like any other language.
Oh yeah, yeah. I completely agree, and I think the complexity of music reflects the complexity of the society in which it's created. Um, you know, Back in the day, it was good enough to have a couple of little like gourd based instruments and a couple of drums or something like that. And that was fine. A flute maybe. And now they're like, well, we got to have synth pop and auto tune. You got to have fucking robots all over the place. Um, and I, but music has not actually changed. That's the thing. Like we're still dealing with the same basic notes, and it's interesting that we arrived at notes actually, because the frequency range, our the range of our hearing, is just a linear scale. There's no steps to it, right? So how did that happen? Like, why do we decide like, oh, this frequency is that note, that frequency is that note, this is sharp, this is flat, there's octaves, right? Like, where did that come from? But yet it works. And when you think about it, it especially when you create music or study music, like, all those things make sense, but I still don't know why they make sense. um I mean, you could look at the math and stuff and it still doesn't make sense.
Octaves could translate better from binary, couldn't it? So
Or
maybe
from octal. Ooh.
I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of like universal subquark level
it could be.
string theory thing. I don't know.
Well, and maybe it's something having to do with humans on the earth. Like, what if we interact with another species from another planet? What are they going to have, octaves or decatives or quadratives or what? I don't know, something. I don't know what you would call them. Like, maybe their frequencies are different, maybe their delineations are different. But I would venture to guess that we would still be able to comprehend what's being said, I guess.
Yeah, that would be like I ever the scientist, I'm thinking like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to take a test between humans and aliens as if we'd already met these aliens? I'm just like jumping way out here, like, oh hey, we're buddies with these aliens. All right. Wouldn't it be cool to see if like, hey, here's this alien species we've never seen before. Do we get the same emotional vibe from the music? Um, that would be a cool experiment.
Oh, it would be. I do think that's actually how first contact would happen. Um, because I can't see that we would, what would Day the Earth Stood Still or something, or War of the Worlds, just like step out there and say some stuff in English and expect people to understand, like it's Star
Oh,
Trek, you
dude,
know?
that just gave me an idea for like a whole like sci-fi universe where basically any first contact, the protocol is always to just play a song.
Yeah.
You say, hey, we don't speak the same language, but here's a peaceful sounding song. Here's a warlike song, so you know that we're pissed off. Like it would be interesting to see if even people that have evolved light years away from us still have the same emotional connection to the
I,
same.
I would think they would. Or maybe they're ahead of us in some ways and behind us in others. You we can't assume that another species in another world is going to evolve exactly the same, and that they might not even have computers, but they might have spaceships. Like, how
Yeah.
crazy is that? They might have faster than light travel, but don't have a microwave.
Yeah. Or they could be like us, where we're like already in space, but we're dumb as shit.
Yeah, we're like, let's stay close to Earth. I'm a little scared. Yeah. It's interesting. I would say what we should actually do if we meet another alien species is bring out the hottest man and woman on Earth. We'll take a vote or something, and then we'll play the most sexy music we could play, and then
And
bring
then
them out.
all their clothes fell off. They scrambled and tried to put them up, but it was too late.
I'd seen it all. Well, because I think that actually that kind of interaction would be beneficial. I mean, yeah, people might find it crass, but that is that, that's the way people interact. Like, sex is a thing, and
Yeah, just shoving
actually,
two things having sex with David Attenborough, like narrating it.
oh
And
my god,
so
yeah.
human male puts the human female into reverse cowgirl.
But if you're going to interact with another species, like that might be the way. But music is definitely something I think we should think about, and definitely something we should study, because that might actually be a universal language. I believe it is. But then again, if you have aliens from another world with completely different brains, with different brain waves and different frequencies, um, are they going to comprehend the music that we've written? Or is it just going to sound like a bunch of cacophonous noise or something?
That is interesting. I'm trying to relate this to other senses as well, right? So we also use our visual senses to convey, to communicate, right?
Yeah.
And it's feasible that if you met a Klingon, for instance, and your idea of respect is like being gentle with each other and giving each other space, but their idea of respect is like being aggressive and forward and in your face.
Yeah, like a fight,
Yeah.
right?
So
Yeah.
it could translate to sound where something that you would associate with one feeling is a polar opposite with a completely other evolved species.
Ooh, that's getting into like the whole perception is reality thing. I like that. And I do think, just like, let's say, for the sake of the discussion, let's pretend that everybody sees things kind of the same way in the galaxy, right? Or maybe the universe. Um, I do like the fact that the Pioneer, the spacecraft, they had that golden record with some music and images and stuff like that. And I think that's probably the best way to convey uh, humankind to other people.
Oh, that's
Um,
right. That was like it had music on it, didn't it?
yeah, there were songs. There were also like encoded images that if you were advanced enough, you could like take that little stylus and read it and decode the pictures, and you get pictures of people from all around the world and people saying things in all kinds of different languages and stuff. Um, it was neat. I've been wanting to buy a replica, but they're so expensive. Yeah, but hopefully it doesn't land on some kind of like robot planet, because then you get V'ger, and then you get Star Trek: The Motion Picture, like the most long, drawn out movie ever. And I happen to have the Laserdisc version with the extended edition. So it's like 3 hours of Star Trek. But I mean, it is cool that a small piece of humanity is out there somewhere
Oh
and can
yeah.
be discovered again. I mean, by the time those spacecraft get anywhere, I'm sure this planet is going to be long gone. Our star, the sun, soul, whatever you want to call it, will have gone all, you know, stupid and burned us up, and we'd be gone long before anybody discovers us. And that makes me think about that episode of uh, TNG where that probe interacts with the Enterprise and Picard's like transported to another world. The Inner Light, that's what it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite episodes. Oh my god. And yeah, they were long gone, but they were able to like convey this particular culture to somebody else,
Yeah.
and let them know, hey, we existed at one point. We don't exist anymore, but we did. And here's a flute, by the way.
That,
And that, oh,
that's basically what we did with that
mhm.
gold record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a thought like that would be a cool sci-fi series. Like every season, basically, you get this, um, spacefaring race that sends out some kind of image, is something that they know or they think will be universal to everyone else, some way to convey who they were, and then that basically doesn't go anywhere. It just kind of like comes back, and by the time it gets back, they've all evolved into like a completely different, like maybe an entire different species took over in complexity, right?
Ooh,
And then
that's interesting.
basically like they're getting their ancestors, um, I don't know, like golden record, let's say, and
Like a time capsule,
yeah,
basically.
and
Yeah.
they're not knowing what that they're trying to translate just their own ancestors
Ooh.
message, but they think it's extraterrestrial. Like,
Oh man, that does kind of like, it does kind of connect with my view of what the UFO phenomena is. Like, I don't know that it's extraterrestrials. Like, it actually could be us
uh-huh.
from another way in the future or something like that. We've evolved and genetically manipulated ourselves until we are like gray and have giant eyes, and I don't know why we would do that, but whatever. And then, you know, we've mastered space-time, so we could travel back in time. We can move through any space like it's nothing. And now us in this world are looking at them like they're some kind of aliens, but they're basically us.
That's a big mind
Yeah. I think it's plausible. Like, I think it's more plausible than beings from some other far-flung star on the other side of the galaxy somehow going like faster than light, because the galaxy, the universe is a big place, and even the galaxy is a big place. So if there's any kind of weird shenanigans going on, a bunch of beings and stuff flying around and doing all this crazy stuff, I would be more like inclined to think of them like, I think it's more plausible that they're us and not someone from out there, because how the hell, why would you even come here? It's a unremarkable star, like way off in the side of the galaxy. There's like no reason to come here. And yeah, so
You're not in charge of tourism.
You should see my flyer. Oh man.
So it's nothing to write home about.
Yeah, and Earth is kind of a shitty place, by the way. Everybody's killing each other. They're like, yeah, they're a bunch of assholes.
You'll wake up and say, second star to the right, straight on till morning.
Nice. I had that on my door until my house got painted. Yeah. Oh man, this is actually like a lot more of a discussion than I thought could be had from this topic. Man, yeah, this is good. I don't know. I maybe hold on. I gotta grab another beer here. I think. Yeah. Although
I've still got some methylene to get through. I don't want it to go to waste.
Mm-mm.
I've already opened it. So
Exactly.
it's just me here.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if do you have any other thoughts on this topic?
I'm sure I could if I weren't sloshed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I always think of like other ideas, and I, oh yeah, I should have brought this up. I should have talked about that. Oh, that would be a good point to make. But then I think about it like a week later. So I don't know. I actually think we covered a lot.
Those kind of broken thoughts, those broken feelings, that could be also what happens when you're trying to write a song and nothing really sounds right, you know? It's that same feeling, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, dude, we should totally write a song called "Broken Thoughts." That is a good title.
All of my thoughts are broken. So.
That's a good title, though.
Oh man, an FBI agent is like.
Oh yeah, we're definitely on some kind of watch list. That's a given.
I hope we're on all of your watch lists. Subscribe to the channel.
Even the FBI, like, or the NSA. Hey guys, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
Hey Chuck. Oh, is it shift change already? Hey, Bill. Hey, how's it going?
Oh man, I don't want to bring up Edward Snowden, so I won't mention his name. Um, God, yeah,
Oh, yeah. It's a good thing I'm tanked. It's election night.
yeah. I've got lots of beer and popcorn and stuff. It's gonna be, oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. Oh yeah, but I'm me being me. I see it as a form of entertainment. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, but even when you're watching the show and it's all constructed, you still find a villain and you find a hero, however you interpret them, uh, which could go both ways. I mean, like look at Dexter.
yeah.
Got a serial killer, but he only kills bad people. So
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. And yes, I know we're going in a lot of different directions, but that's what we do here on Kitchen Sink Microscopy. That's a good point. Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? Is anybody good?
I mean,
What is good? What is evil?
interpretation is part of language.
Sure. And perception and things like that. And I think it does connect. And since we're recording this on election night, so I think by the time I hit stop record, we're probably going to see some entertaining data, or entertaining for me. Sorry for all you people who get all hyper invested in things, but yeah, I'll just drink up if it's bothering you so much.
Yeah, we're
Mm,
Is your life
yeah.
terrible? Try alcohol.
Oh man. Well, it'll stop the coof because my blood is basically like hand sanitizer. So I got nothing to worry about. Oh man. Uh, mm, mm.
Boy.
Man, well, when you come back to the States, I mean the West Coast, we should probably do like
By the end of this episode, it might be two different things.
it could be. Oh man, but hey, who cares? That's yet another thing to discuss, right? That's a cool new topic. Um, yeah, we should do like an in-person thing. Yeah, and we should do something about music. Because yeah, I definitely think there's a brainwave connection there, and man, I think it'd be really fun to do like a I don't know, reaction video, I guess, or something like that, where we're listening to each other's things.
Oh,
Maybe we could pick like one song. You pick one, I pick one, something we haven't heard before, and we listen to it and kind of like try to explain things. Because I do like the science and I enjoy things like that, and I think it'd be really cool to test this idea. Can you interpret my brainwaves through music? And
yeah.
can I interpret yours? That'd be cool.
That would be super cool.
Hmm. Oh man. So if you want to see that, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Um, throw us a like if you want to see it. If we get to 200,000 likes, no, it'll probably be like 10. But if we get 10 likes, we'll do that. Yeah.
Subscribe.
I'll edit that to make it like zoom closer and closer each time you say it. If I remember, I don't know. I've had a little bit of beer, but that's okay.
Did you see the episode the other day, the Final Fright one, where
Mhm.
I put the commercials in?
Yeah. Nice.
Sunday.
Oh man, God! Someday people are gonna realize how awesome this channel is. You know, it's okay. We're gonna go viral eventually.
Okay,
Even
Mr.
if we
Ego.
even if we don't, I don't care. Like I just enjoy this kind of discussion and stuff, and like it's really cool that we could take our passions and you know, turn it into something that other people can watch, rather than just us arguing at PGT.
Yeah, I mean, like anyone that watches can't deny that they're completely engulfed in our discussion, and I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, the thing is, we have discussions no one else has. Um, Nobody else would go from talking about music to talking about aliens to talking about the NSA and stuff like that. That would never happen in a normal talk show. Yeah. So we do things a bit different here in kitchen sink microscopy. I hope you like it. Hope you appreciate the work we put into this, because we do put quite a bit of work into this channel.
Yeah, this is the future of entertainment.
Oh
Kitchen
yeah.
microscopy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's build our own ego story here.
Oh man, the ego stories. Oh my god, about Altair, and we like performed on the moon and opened a portal to another dimension, and our epic battles with Hansen.
Hey, there's no coronavirus on the moon. So maybe if you want concerts, you got to do them on the moon now. Why did I just sound like Jack Nicholson there? Yeah.
so like, share and subscribe, and throw us probably like $100 million on Patreon, and we will build a rocket. Well, it'll probably be a collab with Elon Musk or something like that, and we'll go to the moon and we'll perform in spacesuits, and you're gonna love it. It's gonna be great. You might not hear anything because the atmosphere is a vacuum on the moon, but you'll see something, and it'll be awesome.
Yeah, if you become a patron at the $1 million a month level, we will definitely suck up to all the big wigs in the philanthropic field that you want.
I just want to go to the moon, man. Like, yeah. Oh, well, that's. I think we've had enough alcohol.
I still got a quarter bottle to get.
Holy shit! Wait, hold that up. How much do you have left? Not the cup. That, yeah. Whoa. What's the proof on that?
I have no freaking idea. Well,
It's like 100 proof or something like that. Yeah.
what'd you brew this methaglin at?
Mescaline.
Methaglin.
Oh, sorry. I'm just like,
It's a spiced mead.
yeah. I mean, just looking at it, it looks like it's heavy stuff. I don't know how you went through it all.
It
Ugh.
does actually feel like actually heavy.
Well, now talking about mescaline, I think it's probably time for me to bid you farewell.
This is made to taunt the ground.
Man, we got to do like a collaborative song with lyrics someday. That'd be fun. Yeah. So if you want to see that, throw some money into Patreon and we might do it. I might actually sing. Ooh. I've been known to do it here and there. So yeah.
Were you singing on Just Be?
No, we had talked about it, but that didn't happen.
Huh.
The magic of...
There was a lower frequency in there, and
it's the magic of editing, and yeah.
Cool.
I was going to, but yeah, time.
You used language to fool me.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Well, you can't get fooled again. Oh man. Well, that's probably we've had enough alcohol. Yeah. Well, this is going to come out well beyond the election. So I hope you had a happy election, everybody.
Yeah. Maybe we're hopefully this drunk now too.
We will be if I'm going to sing. It'd be fun to do Aha's Take on Me, because I do like that song. Except that last falsetto note, like.
Oh, we should splice in the karaoke shot of me doing that one. I'll be gone in a day or two.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. That's a good point to end on, actually. I might even put that in the beginning. Oh man. Oh, we have too much fun with this show. I hope everybody else realizes how much fun we have. Yeah.
Viking shit.
What's that?
Viking shit. Brewed.
Skull!
Brewed and fermented and all that junk by Will Baratich.
Oh yeah.
He'll be an up and coming dude in the alcohol realm. So
is he a Norse person as well? Scandinavian?
Slavic.
Okay, well that's close enough. Yeah. Well, the whole like Russia invaded. Well, yeah, that World War II and stuff like that.
We're all a little Russian.
It's behind us. It's okay. Oh man,
you're a Russian to the bathroom and then European.
Okay, I think that's a good point to end on. That's good. Oh man, well, we started with music. We ended in urination. Yeah. Have a good night, everybody.